When I bought my house on the edge of a rural development, I didn't think I'd be fighting off a power-hungry HOA. It was quiet, scenic, and best of all, no HOA when I moved in. Then came the merger. A nearby neighborhood's HOA convinced the county to expand their oversight area, and suddenly I was receiving letters, fees, and violations for things like non-conforming trash cans and garage clutter visible from the street. But the kicker? They tried to seize my garage. It started with a letter taped to my door. The HOA claimed my detached garage was unused auxiliary space and proposed converting it into a shared community tool shed and event space. I laughed, then laughed harder when I read the next part. Since it sits adjacent to a common path, it falls within the domain of community property. Excuse me? Community property? I built that garage myself 6 years ago, poured the concrete, wired the whole thing, but here's the part they didn't know. That garage wasn't just mine. It was also an officially designated substation for the local volunteer fire department. A few years back, the county approached me about setting up emergency support infrastructure in underserved zones. They needed satellite substations, buildings where fire crews could quickly gear up, refuel, or stage equipment during emergencies. My property was ideal, central, secure, and already had a solid structure. So in exchange for a small annual stipend and coverage of some renovations, I signed a long-term agreement to lease part of my garage to the county fire department. It's legally designated as Fire Station Substation 12B. It has official signage, fire radios, a medical supply locker, and even a backup generator linked to the grid. Karen and her HOA board had no idea. One morning I came home to HOA contractors unloading lumber outside the garage. I asked what they were doing, and the foreman replied, "Installing shelving. The HOA said we're converting this into community storage today." I told them to pack up and leave immediately. Next thing I know, Karen herself shows up, clipboard in hand, trying to look official. "You can't deny access to shared property," she snapped. The vote passed, and we've allocated funds. That's when I unlocked the garage, flipped on the light, and revealed the fire gear, radios, emergency response maps, and an official county seal above the bench. Karen blinked. What is this?" I had already alerted Chief Davis, the fire department's director, when I saw the contractors earlier. Just as Karen was threatening to call the police for obstruction, 2 fire trucks and a sheriff cruiser rolled up. Chief Davis stepped out, fire jacket and all, and said calmly, "This building is an emergency substation under county authority. Any attempt to seize, repurpose, or enter it without authorization is a criminal offense." Karen went pale. The sheriff pulled her aside, and I handed over the HOA's paperwork, claiming they were taking possession. Needless to say, that paperwork didn't hold up. Turns out the HOA had been trying to assert control over properties not legally within their bounds, and mine wasn't even technically inside their final jurisdiction after all. Karen and several board members were slapped with cease and desist orders, and the HOA was fined for unauthorized construction activity and trespassing on county-leased emergency infrastructure. They're now being monitored closely by the county board, and they've lost nearly all enforcement power. As for my garage, Chief Davis installed a bigger sign, "Fire Substation, authorized personnel only. Trespassers will be prosecuted." Karen hasn't looked me in the eye since.